is. How many here have seen Secret or read about Secret or know Secret? Type I if you know. So Jack Canfield is a personality who is the #1 speaker on the personal development. He's written many books, and his first book, Chicken Soup for the Soul, itself has sold more than 500 million copies. So it was an honor and privilege and a dream come true last year to share the stage with him. Okay. Apart from being a good doctor, a very good coach and entrepreneur, I'm also a speaker. I've been invited at multiple corporate events where there were kind of award functions or their team meetings where I've delivered many workshops and talks. But what is close to my heart is my own open workshops under the name of Ultimate Success. So I have conducted many of them, but last year itself, I think we conducted 36 open workshops across Mumbai and Pune, where thousands of people have attended these workshops. Okay. Apart from being a doctor and a coach and an entrepreneur, I'm also a mother. And this is my, if you see on the left side, that's my son. He's 17. His name is Pratham. And the other side, you see my little baby. His name is Magic. And if you see me, the best of the roles that I feel that I play in my life is of a mother. This is my family. That's my husband and my mother-in-law and my father-in-law. This was taken in one of the vacations we had gone on. Okay. And I want to ask you to take a quick 10 to 15 seconds to probably take a screenshot of this screen, or maybe you can quickly go on YouTube and subscribe to my channel. You can like me on, give a thumbs up on Facebook and follow me on Instagram so that you can stay connected with me even after this session so that we can have direct interaction. I post a lot of informative posters, some videos that can really help you change the perception that you have about life. And basically what you are looking at, you're looking at developing yourself. And the most important aspect of developing yourself is learning new skills. And when you want to learn new skills, how do you learn new skills? You learn through your brain, right? So I am someone who works with the brain. So you will get a lot of information on all my social media about, and you can directly interact with me. You can send me the message, or, you can comment on any of the posts, and you will get an interaction from me or my team. Okay. So thank you so much once again for having me here. And now let's straight dive into the topic that we are going to discuss here today. So here we are. Give me a moment to just close this. Just a minute, please. Okay, so I'm here, like we were discussing. Could you please give me the sharing, could you please give me the host ID, please, so that I can start sharing again. I have another mind map to share with you guys. And Pranay, I hope you are recording this session.
Just a second.
No, I haven't got it yet. So how many people we have right now? About 38. Oh, good, nice. So are you guys, quickly tell me in the chat box, which place are you from? By the time I get the host, which place are you from? Where do you live? Nagpur. Nagpur, Alibag, Navi Mumbai, Aurangabad, Maharashtra, Nagpur, Hyderabad. Oh, wow. Chhindwara, Delhi. That's amazing. We have people from across India. The best part which has happened, I guess, with the lockdown is we are able to connect with the entire country. I still haven't got the host right. So I am from Mumbai, Nitish. I'm from Mumbai, Amchi, Mumbai. Amlapuram, Nagpur, Hyderabad. Good work, guys. Do we have the stage giving me the rights, please? Roha, Raigad. Okay, nice, Videsh.
Ma'am, I think you have the access now.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I have got the access now. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys can see my screen here right now. Okay. Okay, so I thought of sharing because it is a lateral thinking workshop, I thought of sharing my mind map only because that's one of the ways we can start lateral thinking. So what do you mean by lateral thinking? Okay, I would like to have this as an interactive session, each one of you, so that I get to interact with you, even though you don't talk, but please keep posting in the chat box as in when I ask you the question or I ask you to reiterate or repeat something. Okay, so what is lateral thinking? Okay, lateral thinking is basically the ability to think creatively and outside the box in order to solve a problem. Now that is the meaning Mr. Edward Gill, who coined this term lateral thinking in 1967. But according to me, the lateral thinking is basically, yes, it's an ability to think creatively, but according to me, there is no box. Not thinking out of the box, but just there is imagining that there is no box. If there is no box, like see, if you look at the universe, is there any kind of a box there? It's no box, right? It's an expanse where there are various objects placed across the universe. Yes, there you see a certain patterns in those objects. If you see in the nature, everywhere there is a pattern, right? So human brain is designed to think in patterns. By birth, you're designed to think in patterns because that's how the nature is made. Okay. So there are two ways of thinking. The first way of thinking is about step by step, linear and vertical thinking. It's like if you see 1 and 1, okay, your first immediate impulse would be 2, okay, or 11. Okay, when you see 1 and 1, you would first immediate impulse as you have gone through the education system would be 11, or you will think as 2, or you will think as 2 sticks standing. You will probably think of so you know, it's like whatever is fed to you. There is a current existing data. Everybody will have a different existing data in their mind. When you look at the two, yeah, it could look like 2 legs. It could look like 2 matchsticks. It could look like 1 and 1. Yeah. So there are various of that, the data which is already there in your space. From there, you drive the conclusion. Okay, you derive the conclusion from the data which is already there. Now it is, I'm just giving you a simple example of 1 and 1, like a stick, right? But it also could be anything, like uh, you probably want to, like, you know, if you look at this, because we spoke, Pranay spoke about the public speaking, most of you are looking at the public speaking space. Now see, most of the courses that you go for public speaking, what do they teach you? They teach you about the body language, and they tell you that, you know, don't move your hand like this, don't move your head like this, don't do this, don't do that. Why? Because they say if you do that, then people will look all over there and they will not look at you. Well, that's step-by-step thinking. Now, when you put yourself in a box, have you ever gone through a public speaking workshop where people put you into a box and everybody starts acting and behaving in the same way? That is step-by-step vertical thinking. Like somebody has given you a system and you're following a system. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong, because some places it definitely works. Like if you do not have the confidence to go there and do that public speaking, probably when you get a system or a template, you just follow the template and you get confident. You feel the confidence and then you go and do stuff. But there's a possibility that there are speakers out there, those who do not follow the template. Like I don't follow the template. I just flow with the flow that my body asks me for. Because when I'm in the flow of my body, I naturally have a lot of creativity going on in my mind or in my brain. How many of you observe this? When you are in a restricted environment, just the flow just stops. Or when you are in the nature or when you're in the outside environment, the flow just starts. The creative juices starts flowing. How many of you have earlier observed that? If you have, then type I in the chat box. So what is lateral thinking? The lateral thinking is the sideways thinking or the horizontal thinking. You're not thinking linearly. As in, you're not thinking if I have to travel from A to Z, then I first need to go to A, then I need to go to B, then I need to go to C, then I need to D. No. That is step-by-step thinking. That's like a regular way of thinking. But if you want to go from A to Z, then you don't need to travel the ladder. You can simply fly to Z. Yes or yes? How many of you are following what I'm saying right now? Also, the vertical thinking or the regular linear thinking suggests that you go in the same direction of thinking. It's like you dug the hole. Now you have to dig deeper, even deeper, even deeper, even deeper. The same hole you're going to dig deeper. But in the horizontal or lateral way of thinking, you don't dig the same hole. You probably dig different holes. You go in a different direction to find the solution. Here it's the same data that you're pulling out and working on through the same data, but here you're actually creating the new ideas. There you're following the same pattern, and here you're breaking the patterns. Most of the inventions and innovations which has happened in the last 10 years, you can see the way the economy has grown, the way the entrepreneurship has changed, the way the innovations have happened, is the byproduct of lateral thinking. How many of you follow this? If you are a person who reads a lot, how many of you follow what I just said? Okay. Now, type I if you follow it. Okay. Now, thank you very much. Thank you so much, everybody, for responding to that question. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Now, see, now when I'm asking you to respond to me in the chat box, there's a reason behind it, guys. So I want, like, how many people are here on the chat box and why only 8 or 9 people are responding to me? Now, see, this is another lesson for you, okay? If you want to really dive deeper into the lateral thinking, then the one thing you need to understand in your life, every thought that you get in your mind is a thought comes as an answer to the question that you're asking yourself. What do I mean by that? Every thought is an answer. Every thought is an answer to the question which is pre-programmed in your mind. Now you need to ask yourself different questions to get the different thoughts, different answers. And when I'm asking you the questions, what am I doing here right now? I'm actually putting you through a situation where you have to give answers to me so that your brain starts actually going into the different pattern or a different direction. I'm not here to just talk to you, you listen to me, then it becomes like a school platform. And then what? Then your no lateral thinking is channelized there. So if you participate with me when I ask you the question, when I ask you to put a comment in the chat box, you're actually changing your brain to learn something new. That's lateral thinking. How many of you follow with me? If you follow me, then type I in the chat box. And please, each one of you. Thank you very much. Okay. So why do you need lateral thinking? Okay, the first reason you need lateral thinking, thank you so much everybody for putting those comments. Okay, thank you very much. Why do you need lateral thinking? Now, you need lateral thinking for the creative solution. Because we are, and this is most useful when you're in a crisis. Now see, in crisis like this, I'm going to take a simple example of the mask. Okay, now everybody has to wear the mask. Yes or yes? Now, when the mask came in place, the regular masks were there. Then eventually, if you see, there are people now have come up with various solutions for the mask. Now, mask is there. Now, if you see everywhere, there is so much creativity flowing with the mask. Now, why? Somebody there started thinking that I need to create a different thing because this is now going to be a beauty. This is now going to be an accessory and I need to provide a certain way. So you need to be thinking laterally when it comes to challenging situations like this. And you don't need a pandemic or a crisis to get the creativity out. If you generally have the creativity flowing inside you, you will always be the market leader in your own domain. How many of you follow this? How many of you follow this? Okay. Now, some of you may be from the advertising, marketing and branding and media field. Earlier, it was that lateral thinking was really related, still needed in these fields. Absolutely critically, you need to have this skill. Okay. And everybody, how many of you here want to become an entrepreneur someday? Okay, how many of you want to become an entrepreneur someday? Type I if you want to. In that case, you definitely need the creative thinking hat. Okay, lateral thinking hat, because in the world, everybody has come up with some solution for a challenge which is there in the world, right? So now you need to reinvent your way. How many of you follow that there are some apps which are so user friendly and they get used to more, they get used more, they have more subscriptions than the apps which are difficult one. Now if you look at the Twitter app, okay, what have they done? They actually used the lateral thinking so brilliantly. What did they do? They deprived the user to use more than 140 characters. What did they achieve in that? They actually channelized the user's creativity to fit the message into 140 characters. Plus what they did is they made sure that their app is used more, because now the user is going to use it more to send the messages out there. How many of you follow what I mean? Now I'll ask you one question here, okay? And I want you to come up with a creative answer to that, okay? I'm going to give you one puzzle here, and I want you to come up with a creative answer to that puzzle, okay? So there's this one guy goes to a bartender in the bar. He goes to a bartender, and he asks the bartender to give him a glass of water. Now, instead of giving him a glass of water, the bartender just pulls out the gun, cocks it up, and just, points it to the guy. The moment the guy sees the gun, he says thank you to the bartender and leaves. What do you think must be the reason for this guys to say thank you to the guy for pulling out the gun? I want you to answer that question, and I am going to take it. I'm going to answer you later on. So you keep thinking about it and keep answering that question. Please don't use the Google, okay? Please don't use the Google to do this, okay? Now you must be thinking, how many of you followed what's lateral thinking so far? How many of you got what lateral thinking is so far? Like, thinking is out of, there is no box, and you just need to find different ways for one problem, okay? So you got it, right? So I am going to share with you some ways that you can activate your lateral thinking, okay? So how can you do that? The first thing is, why each one of us has a first way of thinking, that's logical thinking, step-by-step thinking, or linear thinking. Because our school and college teaches us, the education system teaches us to think in a certain way. Because when the education system was designed by the British, it was designed in a time when there were no computers. And the British was ruling the entire world, almost entire world, right? So they wanted the humans to act like computers. They wanted to feed the data in the brain, everybody's brain, so that everybody in the world is on the same page, so that they can give certain instructions that are followed in a certain way. And that's the reason most of the countries, those who have been under the slavery of British, the entrepreneur spirit is much, much lower. People feel jobs is more secured, security or stability. How many of you follow this? Okay, so if you want to really change yourself, change your brain, and come out of the shackles of the old way of thinking that the education system, and also whatever you've seen in your family or the parental stuff or in the society, if you want to drop the shackles of the linear thinking, then you need to understand that you need to drop the perceptions and judgments. You need to drop the perceptions and judgments. Okay. The second thing, now see, it's easy to say to drop the perceptions and judgments, but it's actually tough, because here I'm going to share with you one story, okay? One story of one king, okay? It's also a part of my book, which is soon going to be published. The book's name is You Matter. So I'm going to quickly share this story with you so that you understand how perceptions can create problems, okay? So there's this one king, And he is a very nice guy, very generous, very wealthy king, and he has a huge kingdom. And what he does is he used to take routine, checkups and the different villages. He used to go just kind of like, looking at what's the problems and solve the problems and stuff like that. So one fine day he was in his one of his store like that, and he's with his entire people with him, and he's traveling and then suddenly the wind starts blowing really badly, and he's on the horse, and the wind starts blowing so much that with the wind the dust starts coming really like badly at him, and this one pointed particle of the dust goes straight into his eyes, and suddenly he starts kind of like everything becomes blurry and he can't see anything, so it becomes really bad, and he just sits where he is and he says, I can't see anything. So what they do is they abort the trip and they bring him back to the palace. The moment he comes back to the palace, the regular, doctor comes, he visits, and he sees that, okay, I can't do anything about it. So then what they do is they call upon different doctors and experts from across the country and across the world. People come, see, nothing happens, the eyes are still bad, the king can't see, and it's been days and weeks and months, he can't see. Now you can only imagine the ruler of the kingdom is not able to see how badly the situation can go, right? So what happens is the time is passing by just like that, and suddenly they see one of the saints, he walks into the village and someone tells him, what, our king is blind. Oh dear sage, if you could do something, if you could help our king to recuperate from this bad ailment. And this king walks into the palace and, he sees the king and he looks at his eyes and he said, oh, it's a very simple solution. What you need to do is you just need to see everything green. When you see the color green, your eyes will recuperate. They will heal and you will be able to see everything. But make sure that you don't see any other color. Now he says that and he leaves. Now he's a king. And he just, he's a king and he's kind of like, oh wow, I can do this. This is great. And he sees green everywhere and he suddenly becomes like, he can see now everything and everything comes in order, and things are like, now kingdom is running very well. After a few months, the sage is passing by the village once again, and he walks into the village. The moment he walks into the village, the villagers, the people just starts getting, they see him, and they are like, oh my God, you're wearing an orange robe, we have to change it to green. And they just start painting his face. They make him wear the green color choga and all of that stuff, and they bring him to the palace. And in the palace, he sees that, my God, everywhere it's green. Everywhere it's green. The crown of the queen is green. Her robes are green. Everybody is wearing green. Everything is green. And he's like wondering what's wrong. Why everything is green? And the king sees him and he's like kind of, does a sashtang dandavat to him, like literally falls on his feet and says, thank you so much. You just saved my life. And, I'm so happy now. I can see everything. And the sage just looks at him and says, but why do you have everything green here? So he said, oh, I think you've forgotten, you only had said that I should only see the green. And the sage just looks at him and laughs. And he said, my God, just because you have money, you could do all of these things. If someone would tell me that, I would just wear a pair of green glasses. How many of you resonate with that attitude in life? How many of you resonate with that attitude in life? Type me with lots of ease if you have ever done something like that in your life, because you have your preconceived notions, because you have, because you have perceptions which are set. कि ये होगा ना तो इसके बाद यही होगा, ये होगा ना तो यही होगा. When you see somebody, okay, and it reminds you of somebody else from your past, and you think, oh, this kind of person is always going to behave like this. How many of you heard this sentence where, how many of you heard this? Forget about sentence. How many of you heard this that, भूरी आंखों वाले हमेशा वो होते हैं. मतलब people, those who have gray eyes or blue eyes, they're always cheaters. How many of you heard that? Yeah. Where did it come from? Where did it come from? We have these global beliefs that are circulating everywhere. If the cat crosses your path, it's going to be something bad. How many of you heard that? How many of you heard that? If your left eye starts flickering, it's a good place to be in. And if your right eye starts flickering, something bad is going to happen. How many of you have heard that if you scratch your left palm, money is going to come, and right palm, then the money is going to go? How many of you have heard that if your left leg scratches, then you're going to travel? How many of you have heard all these things in your life? And these are the things that you hear, and they turn into your perceptions. Somewhere deep down, you form your perceptions and your judgments. They come from your beliefs. They come from the point that if you have heard, it's most of, like Pranay says, most of the people have public speaking phobia. Why? Because most of the people somewhere in their childhood have got this experience that you're presented in front of a crowd and you suddenly froze as a child. And then forever in your life, you decided that, oh my God, I am not a public speaker. I can't speak in front of the public. Most of children have got this experience in the childhood where they have been exposed to a crowd where they were babies, like 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds, and they just suddenly froze. They may have forgotten their script. They may have, when they looked at so many people looking at them, they are in the center of attention. They just froze, but that doesn't mean that you're not capable of speaking in public. Or somebody here could be possibly having, you could not do maths as a child. And then somebody labeled you, you're not a maths and science person. Oh, you are a history and this person. Or somebody here probably may not be a good artist as a child. And somebody labeled you, oh, you paint really bad. You're such a bad artist. Yeah, somewhere somebody must have said, oh, you sing so bad, and you just stopped singing. All of us have those experiences that has happened somewhere down in the childhood, and these are like deep down seated in your subconscious mind, and they turn your perception, they turn into your perceptions and your judgments. They come from your beliefs, they come from your environment. Like that king had the possibility of painting the entire town green because he had money. If he didn't have money, probably he would have come up with a very simple solution like wearing the pair of glasses. Similarly, wherever you are, you will see the most creativity comes out when you're vulnerable, when you do not have the resources. You see so many WhatsApp videos and pictures where there are countries that are so poor, those who do not have chappals to wear, they come up with some innovative solutions. How many of you observed that you have seen those kind of slippers and chappals where, they turn from the, used bottles, used plastic? How many people have seen those pictures? How do they come up with those things? How do they, we think that, see, most of those innovations happen when there is adversity of the situations, or there's vulnerability, or there is no resources available. When you have too many resources in your hand, that's where probably you miss out on so many things. And this is combined with your environment and the beliefs that you have about yourself and about the world that you see. How many of you have experienced something like this? Let me give an example of how the perceptions actually form certain things. Okay, how many of you have experienced this in your life, that maybe sometime, it's like, I remember this one incident in my life where, my mother, when I was engaged into playing, as a child, and she, she called out and she said, Meghna, please get the salt from the kitchen. And I'm like, I'm not interested in dropping my playing and going and getting the salt. So I simply tell her that I don't know where you have kept it. I don't know where is it in the kitchen. And she said, you will go there and you will find it. And I go there getting really upset that my mother just, gets me out of, she doesn't allow me to play and all that stuff. And I don't know where it is. I can't find it. I'm constantly saying I can't find it. I go into the kitchen, and sure enough, because I said I can't find it, I can't see it. And I just scream from the kitchen and tell my mother that, I can't find it. And she comes in the kitchen, she gives me a one whack on my head and she said, "Ye samne to pada hai. It's right there in front of you." And sure enough, it's right there in front of you. How many of you experienced in the past that there are things like, kept right in front of you, but you can't see them? Why? Because there is somewhere that, your mind has got the blind spot. In the medical language, it is called as scotoma. Okay. It's a blind spot. So for something that you don't want to, or you feel that you can't find something, you definitely sure enough will have that blind spot. So your most important job, if you want to really start thinking laterally or horizontally, then you need to learn to be aware, first of all, of your perceptions and judgments. And the second step is to just drop them. Okay, you've got to work with a coach, mentor, role models, whoever is there, who will help you to drop those judgments and perceptions. Now, you may think that, you'll watch a YouTube video or read a book and it'll drop. I'm sorry, it won't. Okay, if that was the case, then, people, those who are like, Olympic players, cricketers, badminton players, like world champions, they would just read a book and, watch a video and they'll become an expert. No. Why do they have the coaches and mentors? So please invest in your learning to drop your perceptions and judgments. That's first one for you. Okay. The second one is you got to train yourself to focus on the areas which are least focused. How will you do that? Okay. How will you do that? Asking questions like, in this condition, what would Bruce Lee do? Or whoever it is. Like, maybe that's not even a real person. What would Shah Rukh Khan do? Whoever is your favorite person, maybe. What would probably Salman Khan do? Or what would MS Dhoni do? Asking a question which is radical. Probably that person is not even associated to that field. But a person whom you look up to and think that, oh my God, this person is like really, this person thinks radical. So asking that question. The second question you ask yourself is, what is the one thing that I should not do in this situation at all? At all. What is the absolutely no one thing? Write down that thing, and then you'll see once you remove that thing from your space, automatically the ideas will start flowing. I'm giving you some practical solutions here, okay? Write down all the possible ways or ideas. Now here, remember this, quantity is very important. You don't need a quality here. Quality will come to later. The quantity is important, so throw all the ideas. All the ideas of finding what are the ways to solve a problem. Okay. The other thing that I definitely feel that helps lateral thinking is indulging in an art. Okay. Now see, if you see all the innovators, all the scientists that has happened in the past, like right from Galileo to Newton to Einstein, they all pursued a certain art form. How many of you follow me what I'm saying? They all have, if you look at their biographies and stuff like that, you will see they all go and pursue a art form. Why does that happen? Okay, because art form activates the certain circuits in your brain that promotes lateral thinking. Okay, because when you're solving a problem, when you're solving a puzzle, and if you get stuck at something, even if you put in another 2 hours where you're stuck, you probably will remain stuck. Instead, just drop that and go and play some music, or just dance, or go and run, or just paint. Do something when you're stuck at one area, and then you'll automatically see after a few hours, your brain, because see, your brain will start working on it in the background. Just you sitting there will not help you. So you just need to drop where you're stuck, just drop it and go and, indulge into some art, so that when you come back, your brain will come up with a solution. Okay. The next thing that you need to do is create random connections between things, pictures, and words. Now you need to train yourself to start thinking laterally. So how do you train it? You can't do it once in a year. You got to train yourself every single day. Okay. So pick up random pictures and start creating stories around those pictures. Pick up random words and start creating a sentence out of those random words. Even things that you see in the house, or in your sitting in the room, a glass, a computer, a conversation, a mobile, anything. You just connect anything random and create a story out of it. That will really, you know, push your creative or lateral thinking skills. Okay. The other thing that you need to do is you do not only think in your head. You need to write. You start writing a journal. Okay, start writing a journal where the ideas are going to start flowing in on the paper. You heard of this thing, right? When your cup is empty, you can fill up more fluid into the cup, right? So if your ideas will only remain, if your thoughts will only remain in your mind, they will never come down. So you got to kind of pour it out, everything on the journal, and then, you know, the new ideas will start flowing. That's how it works. Okay. The another way you can start training yourself is reverse thinking. Now, what's the reverse thinking? Suppose there's a challenge and you want a certain solution. Now you go to that solution in your mind, and from the solution you start looking backwards and start working backwards. Like A to Z nahi jana hai, come from Z to A. Okay, how do you do that? By mind mapping. Here what you see, this is mind map. If you see on my screen, how many of you know what is a mind map is? This is kind of a mind map where I'm putting all the thoughts, all the bullet points on my mind map. So then I can talk about it, elaborate about it, and tell you what more about it. So the moment you start doing mind mapping, the brain learns really well when you start mind mapping. Okay. Now this is a very written wala mind map. You can have a colorful mind map. You can have pictorial mind map. What's a vision board? A vision board is kind of a mind map where it should make sense to you. Like if you're writing something like a fish on the laptop. So what is fish for you? So you need to draw the fish. You need to use the color coding so that you learn it better. And it is individual skill. So you need to make it for yourself. It's not for anybody else. It should make sense to you. Okay. Just make sure when you're doing mind mapping, just write everything and put pictures, everything horizontally. Because what are you triggering? Horizontal thinking. Okay. You don't put anything vertically. If you see here, I'm putting everything horizontally here. Okay. Then the other best way to start lateral thinking is using your 5 senses. Use your 5 senses. How will you use your 5 senses? By not using the 4. I'll tell you how. Okay. So if suppose you want to activate your lateral thinking and you want to you want to train your brain to do that, what I would do is probably I would blindfold myself and I would just kind of like, of course, don't blindfold in outside when you're not aware of that place. Maybe you can start with your own bedroom or your own space. You blindfold yourself and you 10 minutes, whatever time you have, in the 10 minutes you do the activity with the blindfold so that your other senses are going to be highlighted. What you can otherwise also do is sometimes, we are so wired with our habits. Okay. Let me give you an example here. Okay. I want to tell you something. Each one of you, I can't see you. You can see me right now. I want you to take your both hands like this. Take your both hands like this. Okay. And now come together and, clasp it like this. Put one thumb on the other. Okay. Once you're done, notice which thumb is on top of which one. And then message me in the chat box which thumb is on top of which one. Right on left, left one, right. Okay, so you all got it. Now I want you to do that again. I want you to take it like this. I want you to clasp it again, and this time I want you to the other finger, the other thumb to go up. So people, those who are having right thumb on the left will now put left on the right. And people, those who had left on the right, put right on the left. And tell me, how much comfortable are you to do that? How much comfortable are you to do that? Not comfortable, right? So somewhere, okay, somewhere down the line, when you, this is a habit. It is nothing else, but it's a habit. So we get used of these habits. So what you need to do is you need to break these minute habits. To start with, probably what you can do is, if you're a righty and if you brush your teeth with right hand, then put yourself in the practice to do once in a while left hand brushing, just to activate your different side of the brain. That will really help you to activate your lateral thinking. How many of you followed so far? I've given you so many of the techniques. Which one is the one you're going to use here? Tell me which one is. Type in the chat box and tell me which is the technique which you're going to use the one immediately. You can post it here while I'm going to tell you what are the benefits of lateral thinking. Okay, indulgent art, reverse thinking, brush technique. Yes, it's very powerful. It's one of my favorites, and I generally do it. I all the time tell the kids to do this. Blindfold one. Yeah, blindfold one is also very powerful one. That actually activates your intuition also a lot. Okay, your intuition, your decision making ability also increases a lot. Okay, you do graphic designing. Okay, then you definitely need the lateral thinking. Brush, blindfold, indulge in art, journal thing. Yes, fabulous. I still do journaling. Every single day I do journaling. Yes, practice writing with left hand. That's another thing that you can do. Yeah, indulge in art. Very good, very nice. So what are the benefits of lateral thinking? There are two major benefits that you will see. A, when you come up with a lateral thinking, you know, how will you start looking at life overall, not just a challenge or a problem? The way you'll start looking at life overall is from the top view. How many of you follow me? Okay. When you have a certain perception or the judgment of the life, then you look at like this, like one direction. Okay. But when you start opening the lateral thinking mindset, you will start looking from the top view. What is the advantage of looking at the top view? You will be able to see every direction. It's a training and it's a hard work. It's not easy. It's not like I'm giving you this one talk and you'll be done with it. No, you have to train yourself. It's a training of the brain. And when you start looking at things from the top view, it just changes everything for you, because now you can see everybody who's walking towards you, every solution that's coming to you. Otherwise, you're seeing from only one angle. Yes or yes? What would that help you in doing? What would that help you in doing? That would help you in saving time and saving money. And actually, if you are an entrepreneur, or even if you are into the job, or you're looking for a job, then you want to become an entrepreneur. Like, you want to become a leader in your life. And the leader's biggest skill is lateral thinking. The moment you have a lateral thinking ability, you can easily crack the interviews. You can actually get the best of the jobs. You can actually get best of the hikes, because you are recognized as a leader, and everybody wants a leader, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're an entrepreneur. How many of you follow so far what I said? And how many of you got a lot of value today? How many of you learned a lot? So you type lot of value, or you type LOV in the chat box. LOV. Great, super awesome. Okay, so I'm going to open up to the question answer right now, because I shared quite a bit with you, whatever I can. If anybody wants to take a screenshot of this, it's your choice. I'm going to give you the 2 minutes, and then I'm going to stop sharing. Pranay, I would like you to start with a question answer, whoever is going to ask me the question answers. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing this. Okay. Yes, I'm open for the question answers now, so that we can go directly and help each one of you, whoever has a question.
So all those who are facing any questions or want to ask anything related to lateral thinking or the thinking way, creatively, whatever it is, so you can just put it in the chat box. Ma'am is here to solve all your questions and give answers to all your questions. So please just go on and write it down into the chat section, whatever your question has or anything. Everyone, yes, we can start with the question answers now.
How to grow your brand? That's a very wide question, my dear Vidish. Can you be more specific about it? What brand or your own personal brand you're talking about? How to stop overthinking, Lavina? Very simple. I'll tell you in 3 steps how will you stop overthinking, okay? Whenever you find yourself that you are, even for negative thinking, Nitish, it's the same thing. Whenever you find yourself overthinking or negative thinking, pause and breathe. Okay, consciously breathe. That's your first step. The second step I want you to do is take a notepad and pen and start writing all your thoughts. The moment you will start writing all the thoughts, you will see the intensity of the thoughts will start going down. Okay, the speed of the thoughts will start becoming slow. And when the speed of the thoughts will become slow, and when you are breathing consciously, the third thing you will arrive at is the clarity. Okay, and the moment you get the clarity, the fourth step will automatically come, which will stop your overthinking, which is decision. Overthinking generally happens when you're in a confused state and you're not able to make any decision. Okay, you come to a crossroad and you feel, oh, I should go here or I should go there. Now, let me tell you something. In every individual, when you're making a decision, there are at least 108 different personalities or personal views or thoughts are coming in your space. Now, may not be every thought that you're aware of, but that makes you go through overthinking because you're not understanding which route to take, which route to go through. Now, again, it won't stop in just one go because you have trained your mind to think negative. You train your brain to overthink. So you have to retrain your brain to stop overthinking and to stop being negative. And the next step will arise after you get the clarity. The next step will come to you is taking an action. Understand something. When you're overthinking, you're avoiding what? You're avoiding action. So the moment you so always remember, action is better than no action. Because when you take action, even if you fail, you know this is not the right way to go for. Like Thomas Edison said, after inventing the bulb, that I just realized that, there are 9,999 ways to not make the bulb. He failed before creating the bulb, but he did not stop. Overthinking only happens when you're avoiding to take the action. Now you got to ask yourself, why are you avoiding that action? There will be 3 fears which you will be facing when you're avoiding the action. First is fear of rejection. What if I take the action and still this person will reject me? It could be person, it could be situation, it could be anything. It could be in your job, it could be in your relationships, it could be anywhere. You may be fearing a rejection. Or you may have had enough of rejection in the past that now it has become your mindset. The second thing will happen to is fear of failure. What if I fail? Now again, that's coming from your past where you may have failed earlier and people have mocked at you or humiliated you or disrespected you. That's where you got into the habit of, oh my God, if I fail, then people will laugh at me. Now these are undercurrents. And the third fear you will face is fear of success. What if I become successful and then what if I lose these people? Now that may look like, oh, I don't have that fear. I'm sorry to say everybody has got that fear. Nobody wants to be in an uncomfortable situation where you don't want, you want your loved ones to be with you. And when you are going ahead, not necessarily all your loved ones will follow you. I know how many people do not take the steps ahead and don't be successful because they fear that they will lose their loved ones. So you got to check, man, these 3 fears, that what is it that is stopping me? Okay, what is journal thing? Sirisha, take a journal, any notebook is fine, and start writing. Like you can write things about, first you can start with what's your plan of the day? What are the most important critical activities you want to do today? What are some of the people that you want to talk to today? What are some of the things that you want to feel today? What are the emotions that you choose to feel today? What are the things that you want to work on today? What are the ideas that are coming to you today? You can also talk about how was your day? What were your thoughts? What do you want in future? Anything. You can just take a notebook, like a long book if you don't want to invest too much. Like I am a journal person, so I have all sorts of journals. I have planners, I have beautiful journals, I have nice, handcrafted papers. So it's up to you, whatever journal you want to do. But if nothing, just take a notepad and paper. Don't please typing the journal on the phone. Don't do that, because then it will kind of put you into overthinking mode. Okay. Ma'am, do you think lateral thinking be used in your emotional Oh, absolutely, Rasika. Only lateral thinking will help us in the emotional problems and crisis. Because I'll tell you, most of the therapists, most of the psychologists, most people, those who work with human potential, are lateral thinkers. Because you have to come up with different situations, different solutions, because all the people, those who are helping other people, the transformational agents or coaches, they are actually giving you a top view. What are they doing? They are actually outside of you lateral thinking. So they are giving you different, the consultants, they are giving you different views of the same situation. And then you choose, because your perception widens, you realize, okay, I can then choose this one. I don't need to get stuck with this particular one. Okay, what else we have? I already spoke about, dear Tanmay, negative beliefs, you need to really work towards it. It can't be just 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. There are various, I would say that, the easiest way is to find somebody who can help you eliminate them. Okay. Because, you may be thinking, I will have to invest money, but I will tell you, buddy, it will really help you shorten the time frame. And the shortest, your time becomes, the faster your growth becomes. So you got to understand that, if you feel that negative beliefs are stopping you, then just, look at it, that invest into a good coach or a therapist who can help you come out of that situation. There is no taboo into it. The world-class people take the coaching. Okay. I've heard that even Jeff Bezos is the #1 rich person in the world. He has an executive coach. Okay. So what are we? Okay. If you want to become an extraordinary, you got to be with the people, those who are extraordinary. So you need to have people around you, those who will help you and put you in that accountability zone where you take actions. And the more you take actions and the more results that you get. Okay, there are ways that how can you deal with the negative belief? You cannot just how many of you seen the train tracks? Okay, each one of you must have seen the train tracks, right? Now in your brain, similar thing happens. The beliefs create the neural pathways. It's like a train track in your brain. Okay. Now you know this, right? When they create a new train track, the old one they do not eliminate. It's still there. Right? They just don't use it. So similar is your brain. The old neural pathways, the old beliefs will still be there. But when you create the new ones, the old will automatically be unuseful. And how will that happen? The more, the different actions that you take and the different results that you give, what will happen is it will give you a confidence. And the confidence will then bring a new belief in you that I can do it. The belief will only come to you. The positive belief or the reaffirming belief will only come to you when you will do something. That confidence will negate the negative belief. But having said that, work with somebody so it becomes a faster process. How to stop seeking validation from others and not self-doubt a lot. Okay, Nitish, it's the same thing. You fear rejection, and that's the reason you want approval from other people. You get scared that what if I do? What if I fail? Somebody will not like me. Most people have, 4 log kya kahenge? Bachpan se bola jata hai. Isn't it? सबने सुना ये यार, तू ऐसे करेगा तो 4 लोग क्या बोलेंगे? Who are these 4 people? We still don't know. But we are all the time seeking the validation and appreciation because that is hardwired in everybody's genetics. That's how the society evolved. Now you got to understand that you can never ever satisfy or you can never ever make everybody happy. It's very simple funda that you cannot make everyone happy as long as, okay, take the actions which are benefiting you and the larger population. I'm not asking you to become selfish here. You focus on things, you should have this most important thing in your mind, that the action that you're taking, how is it impacting your immediate circle? That could be your family. How is it impacting your next level of circle, community, the world? Ask yourself these questions. If I do this, how will it impact my family? If you know it's going to help them, then just do it. They will probably not like it in the beginning because nobody wants to get out of the comfort zone. But you must know that this is going to help them. Create the win-win situations. That's the best way you can stop seeking validation. And also remember, when you're seeking validation, you're actually operating from a very lower mindset, a very low vibration. You got to figure out that the moment you start from this top view, in the top view, you will never seek the validation because you will know what you're doing is for good. Knowing is important. Okay. Please explain the important and urgent thing metrics because I always mess in things. What is urgent thing in my dear Dikshita? That's a very huge topic, sweetheart. I don't know, it's a man or a girl, but I look like a girl, so I'm saying that it's a very huge topic. I would suggest that why don't you read Stephen Covey's book? That would be interesting. It's not something that can be solved just in a couple of minutes, my dear. But I'll give you some example here right now. Okay, if at all, I'm going to give you an example of an entrepreneur. Okay, now as an entrepreneur, what is the most important thing of an entrepreneur? Okay, so most important thing of an entrepreneur is planning for future. Okay, creating the branding, creating the marketing, creating the sales plan, like having the heading, everything. Okay, but not actually doing it, giving the work to somebody else. Now there could be various degrees of it, right? So now if an entrepreneur has an email to send, okay, now if he is also creating a plan of marketing and he's also sending a mundane email, that is urgent email. That's a part of marketing only. Maybe that entrepreneur has to send that email to somebody which is urgent, and that probably will give you the order for your company. But it's an urgent work where it has to be given to somebody else. Always remember, the important is always which is going to be beneficial in the future. And urgent is something that has to be done now. So always remember to find people to delegate to do the urgent work. And you focus on the important work, because most entrepreneurs fail in their life because they're only focusing on what is urgent. They're all the time firefighting. So you gotta understand, if this is somewhere I'm firefighting all the time in my life, then I need to hire somebody who's an expert in this and will finish the work faster. Okay, I can only explain you in few minutes. I can only give you this example. Again, 1 + 3T, how can we improve our self-esteem? The self-esteem will be only improved, buddy, by doing things, by taking actions and seeing the results. That will give you the confidence. Ma'am, our mental health disorders and lateral thinking have some connection? Of course, my dear, okay, of course. Your mental health is very, very critical for your self-esteem, your confidence, your ability to produce solutions, and your ability to look at the challenge. Most people are not able to solve the problems in their life because they have this perception about themselves and other people. They have these filters. So more and more you resolve your past, whatever has happened, the baggage that you carry, and you empty your cup, the faster you'll be able to produce the solutions. Ma'am, is working on our subconscious plus working conscious mind is same thing as that of lateral thinking, or there is a very deep connection between them? Again, sweetheart, see, here, working on your subconscious and conscious will give you an ability to think laterally. It's a connection, but subconscious mind is, the subject is huge, and there are so many things contributing to your lateral thinking ability. So you got to work on, yes, conscious thinking and subconscious work. Majorly the subconscious work is restructuring your brain neuropathways, restructuring your brain patterns, and also releasing the past negative beliefs which are not serving you anymore. Whatever happened before the age of 7, most of us are not even aware of that because the subconscious mind is 90% developed at the age of 7. So you're not even aware of what has happened at that age. Most of the people are not even aware what their parents felt, what their parents said, what was their environment, what happened around them. And they are operating on the same subconscious mind, which is not going to help you in your 20s, 30s. You got to change your subconscious mind. How do you do that? By actually working on subconscious mind and releasing, emptying that cup constantly. Okay. Then the next one is how to come out of your comfort zone and not be lazy. Nitish, if you want to come out of your comfort zone, the most important thing that you need to do is take the smallest action every single day towards your goal. First is goal. First is actually clarity. What goal to set. Then when you set the goal, then every single day, no matter what, you take the action. So most people, those who are lazy or those who are in comfort zone, they give in too much into their emotions. They feel today, I'm not feeling like doing this. No, you don't do that. Some people say I'm a morning person. Some people say I'm an evening person. I'm a night person. No, you got to train yourself to become the whatever it takes person. Okay, so you do anything, anytime, you got to do it. Like action. Action is very important here. Ritvika, energy psychology is basically a human. Everything in the world is made up of energy. Okay. Everything, like a smallest of atoms, say bada se bada cheese is made up of energy. Every matter that you see in the world, like right from the human being to plants to animals, everything. So what binds the molecules, what binds the atom is the energy. You can call it soul, you can call it any sort of like, the movement, what is happening inside you. Now that energy directs your psychology. So I have a mastery in understanding what is a person's energy, what is not there in that energy, what's the missing energy, and how is it creating their psychology. So I work on both, and then that's how I change people. So the people get transformed through the work that I do that. Yes, answer for the puzzle. Somebody has already given the answer. How many of you got the answer for the puzzle? Thank you, Rasika, for reminding it. Yes, Ritika, you're right. The guy had hiccups. He went to ask for a glass of water and the bartender just kind of pointed out the gun at him. He got distracted and the hiccup stopped. And that's the reason he said thank you to him. So here we are at the end of the talk. Is there anything else so how do you close this?
Yes, thank you.
By the way, followed me on my Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. If you haven't, please do that. And please share it with your people. Pranay, I think we are done, right? So can we close this? It's 6:15 already.
Yes, ma'am. Sakshi is here to give the vote of thanks. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this amazing session. Actually, it have helped each and everyone present here in the session in as many ways I can't even imagine and explain, because you have given solutions for overthinking, you have given solutions how to do lateral thinking, you have given solution how to discard the negative beliefs and everything. So this session have helped in so many ways. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for taking out your valuable time and giving this amazing talk. It have really helped the youth today. And thank you so much, Stage and Pranay, for conducting such session. And thank you so much, audience, for your patient hearing and for your active participation. I really appreciate each and every one of you for your active participation, because as ma'am said, this session was not going to be possible without your active participation. So yeah, I appreciate that each one of you were participating and actually interacting and interactive. So that's what made the session more interesting. And yeah, if you're interested to attend various upcoming events and sessions, then you can join our Telegram group. We have posted the link in the WhatsApp group which we have made, so you can just join and you will get the further updates there. So thank you so much everyone for joining. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, and I love this opportunity. Thank you each one of you for attending the session. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
And also I have put the feedback form in the WhatsApp group. So everyone is requested to give their valuable feedback, because we believe that we grow on each and every step like we take. So everyone is requested to give their valuable feedbacks in the feedback form. And yeah, stay connected, stay happy, stay safe, and keep learning. Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining in. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. And it was really a nice talk.